my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use the ordinary niacinamide and Cosrx snail essence. Now you can use them in the same routine daily in the morning and or evening. And before I'm getting started with the entire application, let's look into my PowerPoint slides so that you have an idea of what a morning and evening skincare routine can look like. So here you can see an example of a morning skincare routine. On the top corner you can see the time of use, underneath the steps, below that the boxes with the price that I've picked, and then right underneath that the overall general guide of how much you need to use. Now in a morning skincare routine there are two essential steps that you shouldn't skip, which is first of all washing your face either with purely water or with a gentle cleanser or an exfoliating acid cleanser to remove any excess oil, dirt and sweat from the skin, and as your last step in your skincare routine, your sunscreen to protect the skin from the damaging UV rays. Those are two essential steps that would follow in this order. So the cleanser is always your first step, the sunscreen is always your last step. But the steps in between, when it comes to your niacinamide serum and the snail essence, can theoretically be either way. If you want to go with the usual setup of a skincare routine, you would use your essence at first to add hydration to the skin, to lock in moisture, and then you would use it immediately after your cleansing step. And so you're not going to include a toner or exfoliating acid in between, therefore you can immediately move on to the essence. Apply to the skin, leave it on the skin, there's no need to wash it off. And then you're going to target your specific skin concern, in this case a niacinamide serum. It doesn't have to be the ordinary one, to target your blemishes. It's a great brightening serum. It helps to regulate oiliness and it helps to lock in moisture as well. And so then you would use that one afterwards before applying your sunscreen. But still, the other way around wouldn't be an issue too if you want to use the essence a bit more like a moisturizer, and that's completely fine, which now will bring me to my example of an evening skincare routine. Since in the evening, if you do not want to add an additional moisturizer as your last step in your evening skincare routine, it is fine to use your essence like a moisturizer, because again, it adds hydration to the skin. So after your cleansing step, you would immediately move on to the niacinamide serum and then follow and finish with your snail essence, and then there you go. Of course, if you would like to follow with a moisturizer afterwards, then this would be the last step in your evening skincare routine, and then there you have it. So you can really go ahead and adjust it based on what feels best on the skin. Just don't forget that in case you're wearing stubborn sunscreen and or makeup that you cannot properly take off with your usual cleanser, to do a double cleanse. So using micellar water at first, or an oil or balm cleanser, and then move on to your regular cleanser to properly wash your face before you're going to apply your niacinamide serum or snail essence on the skin. So again, feel free to adjust it based on what feels the best for you and how you would like to use the essence, either as an essence step or kind of like a moisturizer. And so now that I went over my morning and evening example skincare routines, which by the way, if you find them helpful, as always, you will find a link in the description box down below and learn more about skincare in general. But now I want to get started with the entire application. And so I have this set up right here, and I'm going to go with a morning skincare routine based on what I've showed you in the PowerPoint slide. So after the cleansing step, I'm going to follow with the essence, then the niacinamide serum, and then sunscreen. And so again, I have two examples right here of gentle cleansers for different skin types. I'm going to use Cetaphil's Daily Facial Cleanser, which is great for combination to oily skin. If you should have a different one, that's completely fine. Exchange it. Just read on the back of the packaging on how you should use your cleanser. Usually they will tell you apply it to wet skin and then later on rinse it off with water. If you use water, use always lukewarm water to warm water. But sometimes they do tell you specifically with oil or balm cleansers or cleansers that are suitable for dry skin to apply to dry skin and then later on rinse it off with water. So make sure to adjust it depending on the cleanser that you're using. You can wash your face above the sink or in the shower. Either way is fine. Just make sure to properly get everything off the skin before moving on to the next step. So let's go ahead and do this. Then use about 1 to 2 pumps, or more or less about a coin-size amount of cleanser on the palm of your hand. Rub your hands together and then gently massage it all over your face and neck for about 30 seconds to a minute, making sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. If that's the case, rinse it with water. So now when you're about to rinse everything off, especially if you're doing this above the sink, I highly recommend using those makeup cloths or microfiber cloths, which are very soft on the skin. Use them in between, wet them, squeeze them out, and then gently swipe it across your face to really make sure that there's no residue left before you're going to pat the skin dry. Now wet it. And now squeeze it out. And then go ahead and gently swipe it across your face to get any residue of your cleanser off the skin. So now once you have rinsed off everything from the skin, you now can go ahead and take a clean towel and remove the remaining water drops on the skin surface. This is an essential step to do so that you're not going to mix your niacinamide serum or snail essence with the water drops that are still on the skin surface. This can really feel dry or tight later on or even cause pilling. Therefore, go ahead and take your clean towel and then gently pat over your face. Please do not rub. So now once you're done with your cleansing step, you can move on to the next step. Again, this can be now your snail essence or your niacinamide serum as your first step, and then later on move on to the next product. You can go ahead and adjust it, try out both ways and see what feels the best for your skin. Now again, with this setup, I'm not going to follow with the snail essence. One thing that won't change, doesn't matter if you're going to use it as your first step after cleansing or after your niacinamide serum, is how much you're going to use. So the snail essence has a pump, so I recommend using between 1 to 2 pumps for your face and neck. This should be more than enough. Rub it between your fingers and then evenly blend it all over. Again, make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth. So once you have applied it all over your face and neck, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now in between each step, you can give it about 30 seconds to a minute so that the product can fully absorb into the skin before moving on to the next step. If it has already absorbed much faster into the skin, well then of course go ahead and immediately move on to the next product application. And so in this case, now I would follow on with the ordinary niacinamide serum. Now of course you can go with any niacinamide serum that you may have. I'm going to go with one of the most popular ones, which would be the one from The Ordinary. That one has a very thick sticky texture where I recommend using between 2 to 3 drops. Please do not use more than that because otherwise it can feel sticky quite easily or may cause pilling depending on if you want to follow with your sunscreen afterwards or in the evening if you should feel the need a moisturizer. So make sure to use enough to evenly blend it thinly all over, but please do not overdo it. And so you can apply some product on the palm of your hand, fingertips, or immediately to the face and then start blending it all over. Please make sure to not get it into your eyes nor into your mouth, and please do not use it on top of your eyelids. If the serum should foam, don't worry, that's normal because you're blending it all over. So once I've applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. Now again, if this is going to be your evening skincare routine, you just can use those 2 products after your cleansing step. There's no need to follow with anything else afterwards if you do not feel a need. But of course, it isn't wrong to now apply a moisturizer depending on your overall skin type. But during daytime, it is still important to follow with sun protection afterwards. And this is now the step that I'm going to move forward so that I can protect the skin from the damaging UV rays. face. Please apply your sunscreen 10 to 15 minutes before sun exposure, and make sure that you're using enough product to evenly blend it all over your face, neck, maybe even décolletage depending on how much exposure you have, and don't forget your ears. So as a general guide for your face, neck and ears, I recommend using about half a teaspoon, more or less. This can be adjusted, but if you have more décolletage exposure, I recommend going with about 1 teaspoon. If you should end up with like a thick layer of sunscreen all over your face and neck, maybe décolletage, or you still have some left on your fingers and it's like way too much that you have used, of course go ahead and reduce it, but it should give you an overall general guide of how much you need to use and that this is a fair amount. So as an example, I'm going to use COSRX Always Soothing Sun Cream, and I have half a teaspoon right here, which I'm going to fill up so I can apply it evenly all over. About that much, more or less. And then go ahead and apply your sunscreen evenly all over. If you can use your sunscreen around the eyes, and if it does not irritate your eyes, you can go ahead and do so. Just make sure to not get it into your eyes, not into your mouth. But if you should have or come across sensitivity around the eyes, then please avoid the eye area completely. And then you may want to wear sunglasses throughout the day, or switch your sunscreen to a sunscreen that you can use around the eyes, because you still need to protect this part as well. So, and once you have applied it all over, you're going to leave it on the skin. There's no need to wash it off. And this would be an entire example skincare routine when doing this in the morning. Of course, in the evening, there's no sunscreen needed. And this is what I wanted to share with you on how you can use your niacinamide serum with the snail essence. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you now want to learn more about skincare, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video, but you will find more of them on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.